Hey everybody, welcome to Matter of Opinion, Walls P.
Ray the Dawn.
And today we're gonna talk about sports. See what happened during the weekend. We had the big fight.
Oh man.
Between Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, Nate Robinson. We also had some NFL.
Oh yeah.
And we're gonna talk about some NBA, with the off-season moves that went on. So let's talk about the AFC East. Well, the AFC East for the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Bills, who's 8-3. You got the Patriots, who's 5-6, and the Dolphins, who's 7-4. We're not even going to talk about the Jets because
they're not going nowhere.
7. Yeah,
they're not going nowhere.
So out of these three teams for the AFC East, who do you think is going to win that division?
Honestly, I'm on the fence because I believe in the Dolphins.
Okay.
I believe the Dolphins can pull it off.
And you know what?
If they come together and they play like a serious team,
yeah,
I believe they can pull it off.
And they're a surprise team too, because like all around, they're a pretty good team.
Mm-hmm.
Especially from last year, what they did, whatever. And gotta give a shout out to black coaches.
Black coach lives matter.
Brian Flores, and they're a good offensive team, a good defensive team. Well, they're middle of the road with defense, but they are second in defensive scoring, so that does speak a lot.
It does.
Yeah, but for me, I'm going to have to go with the Bills. I really think the Bills is going to take that division because they have the offense, they have the scoring, their quarterback. Oh my gosh, this guy's playing pretty good or whatever.
He's doing good. He's doing good.
But yeah, defensively is where the Bills stand out, where they can shut people down.
Right. Offensively, though, there are gaps in their offense.
There is. Now the Patriots, they just lack weapons, man.
The Patriots is not the team it was before.
I give Brady credit for that, able to make like these lesser players better as far as receivers because they don't get separation. Looking at the game yesterday, Cam Newton literally had to carry that team to that victory. Mm-hmm. He's doing it with his legs basically.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Defensively, they did do a good job on Kyler Murray. That's really what's holding things together is the defense and Cam Newton.
Yeah.
Because the receivers are not getting separations. I don't even think nobody can name one of the receivers on the Patriots. Like, yeah,
They haven't been memorable this year.
Yeah. I had hope for them to prove, a lot of people wrong for the Belichick and Brady discussion. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really don't see them winning this division. I don't see them making it to the wild card, unfortunately. Yeah, I gotta give it to the Bills. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup to see.
It's gonna come down between the Dolphins.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting matchup to see the Bills and the Dolphins.
I definitely think the Dolphins have a chance to take it. They just need to get it together.
Trust me. I'm not denying that because, like I said, it's up in the air. Both teams are good. Mm-hmm. Clearly, you see by the record or whatever, but I think it's gonna come down to the wire for that division. All right, so now the team that you saw coming.
I told everybody
weeks ago.
I told everybody. I looked at the roster. I looked at they practice, and I said they gonna win it.
So we got the Pittsburgh Steelers who are undefeated. They were supposed to play the Ravens on Thanksgiving night, but the game got canceled postponed because of COVID, and they're scheduled to play tomorrow.
That wasn't it. The Ravens were scared.
They're scheduled to play tomorrow. So, with that being said, do you feel that the Steelers are the favorite in the AFC?
Of course. They're not going anywhere. They're not going nowhere. If they keep the pace they're going right now, there's no team that's going to take that spot from them.
I will say this. Big Ben surprised me this year.
Okay.
Like don't get me wrong, I know Big Ben is good, but the way this guy is playing this year, like, it's lights out. Yes. I got this guy be throwing such precision and perfect passes.
That's that practice.
Yeah.
That's that off-season practice.
Juju is doing his thing. Defensively, that's where they really make their mark. Defensively, they're a damn good team.
But the Steelers has always been a defensive team.
Not really, because a lot of people are saying, just like last year.
No,
the last 2 years.
If you look at their past records, they've held records for Defensive of the Year awards and all that other stuff. So, I mean, you can't really say they haven't been a defensive team. Their offense was there.
When they lost Palomalu, it was a stretch that it was basically an airport where you could just fly pass all day on them.
Well, you have to understand. You have to understand. When your defense is being led by somebody and that person decides to leave, now you have to configure your defense around somebody else.
Yeah,
you
that's
get what
true.
I'm saying?
But yeah, I gotta give it to Mike Tomlin, man. That's a good coach. That's a very good coach, man. To lose AB, to lose Le'Veon Bell, and to come back now and right now have an undefeated season, that's a hell of a job.
Oh yeah.
And last year, I would say their struggles was more so because Big Ben got hurt.
Yeah.
You know, he was out for the season, but yeah, this guy came back firing all cylinders. Like it seems like he came out to prove a point like Antonio Brown didn't make me. Mm-hmm. I was doing it before he got here. I was doing it before Le'Veon Bell got here.
I don't know whoever was cooking for him when he was recovering, but they fed that boy some good stuff.
Yeah, but I gotta give you credit for that because you did call the Steelers.
I did call the Steelers.
I'm still very bullish on the Chiefs, but you did call the Steelers, and it got me thinking like, I don't know if the Chiefs,
I'm telling y'all,
Steelers.
If y'all got money that the Chiefs is gonna beat the Steelers, y'all better change it.
I know Stephen A is very happy because he's a big Steelers fan, Mm-hmm. But so with the Steelers being the team, the king of the crop right now, you got the Chiefs who's 10-1. You got the Titans who's 8-3, the Bills 8-3, the Browns. That's a surprising team too. Even though the Browns lost Odell, they're still 8-3.
Yeah.
And you still haven't really seen them at their best, and they're at 8-3. And that's a division rival. Mm-hmm. And then you got the Dolphins and the Colts at 7-4 apiece. So out of these teams, who do you feel? I'll say, what two teams do you feel is the biggest threat to the Steelers?
I gotta say the Chiefs, man, and then I'm gonna go. I don't know. It's the second team is up for the air, but definitely the Chiefs. The Chiefs would probably put the most challenge. Period. Honestly.
Yeah. Me, I gotta go with the Chiefs and the Titans. Because the Titans, especially in the playoff time when it's cold, they have your man who can, wear your defense down.
Yeah, that's true. But you know what? I gotta say one thing before we continue with this conversation. The Packers ain't going nowhere.
But hate on Aaron Rodgers.
The Packers is not going anywhere.
We'll get to that down the line. Don't worry. We'll get to that. Matter of fact, that'll be the next topic. But, yeah, man, your boy Henry on the Titans, man, that's a big boy. And as big as he is, he's fast. Mm-hmm. So, matter of fact, last year in the playoffs, that's what almost carried him to the Super Bowl was Henry.
Yeah.
Running people over. So, those are the two threats that I see against Steelers. But really, I think it comes down to the Chiefs.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Did you see how yesterday during the Bucks game,
Buccaneers for people.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill just destroyed them in the first quarter. He had over 200 yards receiving. He just destroyed them.
I don't know if the Buccaneers they lost their sense of piracy. Your team is supposed to be based on pirates. Your name is literally a savage group of people, but you didn't come out like savages. You came out like some girls.
Yeah, and I know this discussion is supposed to be on who's going to be a threat to the Steelers, but that game between the Chiefs and the Buccaneers, man, that really make me think Belichick and Brady really need each other to succeed. Mm-hmm. Because it's crazy how everybody it's debatable if Tom Brady is the GOAT. That's a debate, between him and Joe Montana or whatever, or all the other greats. But where he's at, where he's at as far as being the GOAT, that's already stitched right there. That's not going nowhere no matter what he does. Mm-hmm. But we can't deny the fact that this season, he's next to last as far as throwing interceptions. The 2 interceptions that he threw during yesterday's game, that's what basically sealed the fate. You had a lot of blown throws where he was hitting guys on the head without them even jumping. If you could jump up for a catch, whatever, the trajectory might hit. No. Guys were running and the ball's hitting them in their helmet or whatever. overthrows, so much like bad throws. It's ridiculous. So, and I'm pretty sure he went to the Buccaneers because the Buccaneers have a lot of weapons. And then he even got Gronk to come there, plus Antonio Brown to come there. So it's like you have all these weapons, you know, and you did more with less. Now that you got all these weapons, it's like it's Father Time catching up to him now, you know. So it's
boy's old, man.
Yeah. It's crazy, but yeah, man, I'm gonna have to go with the Chiefs and the Titans as far as the threat to the Steelers.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to the playoffs, you know. And now that they expanded the playoffs, they added an extra team for the wild card, and only one team gets the bye. Yeah. So Steelers is on track to get the bye, you know. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So now we could switch to the NFC. You got the Saints, who are 9-2. And I really want to speak about the Saints too. You got the Packers, who are 8-3. You got the Seahawks, who are 7-3. You got the Rams, who's 7-3. The Buccaneers, who's 7-5. So out of these teams, who do you think is going to come out on the East?
That is a tough. I had to say the Saints, man. Because Packers, y'all not going anywhere. Okay, let's get this straight, y'all. I watched the game the other day, and I was watching them play the Bears, and I was just like, they're just bullying them. Bullies don't get far in life.
But not to take it for granted, the Bears have a top 10 defense though.
They do.
You know?
They do. But you know, I gotta give it to the Packers offense. You guys are pretty good, except for your kicker, because I don't know how you miss a kick.
Yeah.
Your whole job, like, you don't even play in the game until it's time to kick.
Their kicker has been bad, like they're having issues all season.
Like I don't know if you need to get boy some glasses or something, because he out here.
Now, this is where I want to get on the Saints, man, because Drew Brees is out for the season, but your man Hill, that quarterback that they draft, yo,
he been kicking up.
He brings a different dimension with his running. You know, with his he be doing it with like his bootlegs and stuff like that, where basically like he basically has the play action game on lock.
Yeah.
You know, and he really changed the dynamic of that offense. Then when you factor him with Alvin Kamara, that's a good 1-2 punch as far as the running game, the ground game. He can throw the ball too. He can throw the ball real good. And watching him play, I see why Drew Brees probably, you know, felt a little bit threatened when they drafted him. But Drew Brees is getting up there in age, but your man is still good. Don't get me wrong, he's still good, but
old age catch up to everybody.
That's a good backup, like a good insurance policy. Because if they didn't have him, guess what? Their good season probably went down the drain.
Oh, yeah.
And they're still maintaining or whatever. Look, I can't count out Aaron Rodgers, man. Like, I just can't. I just can't. I know as much as you say, you know, you don't see them, I just can't count them out, man.
They ain't going nowhere.
Yo.
They ain't going nowhere, I'm telling you.
And then his running back also, oh man, like, yo.
They not going anywhere.
And believe it or not, they actually got a decent defense. Because for years, it was always Aaron Rodgers carrying it, and they didn't have a defense. The only time when they did have a good defense was when they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That was when they had it. But they actually got a defense, man. So I can't count them out.
They okay. Okay.
And
Lord knows they're okay. All right, they're okay.
What makes you not like them so much? Like, because it seemed like you got a thing against them.
They're straight bullies. That's why I don't like them.
Yo, that's what you gotta do though. It's a gladiator sport.
I don't like bullies. If you beating the team by 30-something points, they only got 5. Just let it be.
So what do you call the Steelers who was bullying teams?
Nah, that was professional football. That's what that was.
You gotta love the hypocrisy, you know? But nah, I feel the same way. If I'm watching a game and it's a blowout, I'm like, man, this game is crap. But if it's my team blowing somebody, yo, that's the best game ever.
Football right there, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't be mad at that. I gotta respect that. I gotta respect it.
No, I just never been a fan of the Packers.
Okay.
Like overall.
Okay.
I don't really like them.
See, that's how I feel with the Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, the Cowgirls.
Yeah, and it's not the Cowboys, it's the fans. that's what make me not like the Cowboys. You do got some realistic fans, but then you have the fans who are like Trump fans.
Yeah.
Who they just
it's the
delusional.
Same for me. It's the same for me.
You know? So yeah. Sorry to Trump fans, but you know
it's a lot of Trump fans supporting these Packers and these Cowboys, you know what I mean?
It was the best analogy I could give to help people understand, you know? So.
And then also the Packers kickers can't kick for shit. Like, that's another thing. He irritates me anytime I see him go to kick. It irritates me. I'm like, why even put that boy in there? Y'all just need to do a passing play for these extra points.
Yep. And then on the list, we got the Seahawks. Now, that's a team you can't count out.
I can't count out the Seahawks.
Russell Wilson.
I can't count them out. I can't count them out. They're an underdog team.
Yeah. And
they will surprise you, and I'll give them that.
And I don't know, man. I just love Pete Carroll's energy. That little old white dude, man. Like, yo, his energy,
man.
Yeah, his energy is like off the charts. But yeah, man, you just can never count out Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Russell Wilson is one of them dudes. And this guy is small too, man, but like he just gets it done.
But you know what it is? He uses everything he has to get the job done.
Yes.
And that's something you gotta admire, man.
Just like I said on last show, man, I wish Giants would have got him. Because Giants was this close.
They would have been better off, man. They would have been so better off.
Oh my gosh, man. Whew, we probably could have had another Super Bowl. Who
knows? Can't talk about Giants now.
Yeah, I know. Well,
not really.
That we'll save that for the next segment. But you got the Rams who are 7-3. I don't know. Rams is a good team, but they just don't do it for me,
I'm not feeling them.
Yeah, like they win. The defense is nice. They got the good defense and everything, but I don't know, man. I'm just not impressed with the Rams.
I like when I see them play, it doesn't excite me.
Yeah,
like, it's like, oh yeah, okay,
yeah. Like I said, don't get me wrong. They're a damn good team.
They are.
I'm just not impressed.
Yeah, it's not. I guess it's not a team that nobody wants to see to the Super Bowl.
Like they're especially after last year and everything like that. Like that Super Bowl was like it was not fun to watch. It was. Pete, I understand. You got some people who love a gritty defensive, grinded out game. But in all honesty, man, we're fans of offense. We want to see.
We want to see that blood, that tussle.
We want to see that score, that Hail Mary.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what I mean?
That's what we want to see, you know.
Somebody breaking their arm or something.
Yeah, but they are a good team. It's possible. They have a chance, but for me, I'm just not really a fan.
Like if they make it, I probably wouldn't watch it because it'll be a slow grind defensive, you know, competition, and it's gonna irritate my soul.
And then we got the Buccaneers, who right now, man, they too hot and cold. They're streaky. You know, the last 2 games they played, they lost. Brady didn't play to his best. You know, and then for all we know, the next 2 weeks they're gonna come out guns blazing. You know, they're a very streaky team. With that being said, if they make it to the playoffs, all it takes is a hot stretch.
Yeah.
You know, all it takes is a hot stretch, and
I don't think they're gonna get.
I don't think so either. I don't think so either. But hey, you never know. But if I have to make a pick,
I mean, if they do make it, all of them wearing some Like Mike shoes. I'm telling you right now. They all wear Like Mike's magical cleats.
Yeah. Like if I gotta say, it's out of the Saints, the Packers, or Seahawks. Like the other 2 teams, I don't feel confident in them. But
I would say definitely the Saints, Packers, and Seahawks would be right after them. So it's, you know, even though I don't like the Packers, I don't feel that they're gonna win anything, you know, this season. Gotta
give credit when credit's due. Like, unfortunately. But yeah, that's
sorry, I'm gonna brush my tongue after this episode. You know, just saying it's like an insult to my soul.
So now we got to. I know it makes no sense to speak about it, but we have to talk about the NFC least because whoever wins that division will be in the wild card.
Oh yeah.
So you got my Giants, who for this week I can say, number 1. Leading the division at 4-7. Washington tied 4-7, but since we swept them, got the tie break. Then you got the Eagles at 3-6-1, and then you got the Cowboys at 3-8. Who do you see coming out of this division?
I think I'm praying for the Giants. I am praying for the Giants. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say I'm praying for the Giants, and I would have my money on them. I hope they don't disappoint me.
See, this is where, like, I'm being a realist. Because Daniel Jones just pulled his hamstring. And granted, the first couple of weeks, whatever, been, like, hard. But I will, like, they've been playing terrible. But I will say this. Since they played the Buccaneers, they have been playing a lot better. Mm-hmm. The team has been playing a lot better. I don't know. It's kind of like a blessing in disguise that...
I think they sat down and they talked to themselves. They're like, they realized, like, yo, we got to win this wild card. Bro.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's a blessing in disguise when Saquon went down. Mm-hmm. That they had no choice but to not rely on Saquon and come together as a team.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, we got to use the weapons that we have and not rely solely on Saquon. Mm-hmm. You know? So with that being said, they did start playing better. They did do some, you know, with the offensive line. They did improve that or whatever. The defense got better. But Daniel Jones' hamstring, if that man is out, good night, Irene. I don't see no chance that they're winning it. Because
don't count the Giants out though.
The
man.
reason why is because a lot of the drive saving plays was Daniel Jones with his legs. Yeah. You know, he can run. So with him having that threat that he can run, it keeps the defense honest. Mm-hmm. Which makes the offensive line job a lot easier, so to speak. But if you just got a quarterback who's going to be in the pocket, they know just to destroy the line and that's it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's why I'm like, yo, if your man don't play, it's good night, Irene.
I wouldn't say it's good night because we from time and time again we've seen the Giants lose some of their best players before game and pull the Hail Mary out the butt.
I would love to see that.
They are a Cinderella team.
I would wish that our backup quarterback is a Jeff Hostetler. I would love for that, but I don't see it. If I had to pick a team that I think is going to win the division, I would have to go with Washington.
Okay, all right.
I would have to go because Eagles to me is too inconsistent. Like Shannon Sharp say, walk it to him once. He has not been walking to him once. You know
who the Eagles need?
Who?
They need Mark Wahlberg on their team. You ever seen that movie where he played, what's the name?
I know what you're talking about. I don't remember the name,
and he played a wide receiver, right? Or I think he played tight end or wide receiver. They need Mark Wahlberg on the team.
They need him to come and save the roster. Yeah,
that man will bring the whole team together. I'm telling you.
Or hope they could find a Willie Beeman.
Yeah.
From any given Sunday, but yeah, man, they're too inconsistent. And the Cowboys, like I said, once they lost Dak Prescott, to me, like the season was over because like that was like
the Cowboys season is over, man.
Yeah. That Dak Prescott was like the driving force of that team. I will say this though, even though Dak Prescott is the most important part to the team, Zeke is still like the engine that makes it go. But Dak Prescott is what allows Zeke to be that engine that go. Because Dak Prescott is what keeps them honest. Yeah. Because you don't know if they're gonna air it out or whatever. You know, so it's like they need each other as far as to make the team prosper. But Jerry Jones, now it's going to make him see the importance, like how valuable Dak Prescott is, and stop playing with his money. Give him that money that he wants. Like, don't get me wrong, he is getting money, you know, because he signed the franchise tag, but he's going to get that long-term contract for that
extra
security.
Bonus money.
Granted, I'm like, I hope he comes back 100%, you know, from that injury or whatever, but if he does, yeah, he's gonna get that money because you see his worth. You see his worth with what Dallas is doing right now. Now we're gonna talk a little bit of NBA, but before we go to NBA, we gotta talk about the fight that happened this weekend. First off the bat is
well, we're gonna talk about two fights.
Yeah. The first one, of course, is the Nate Robinson knockout from Jake Paul. Now, for those who don't know the history of how this fight came to be, Jake Paul is
he's a YouTuber, but he's classified as a
I believe it's a social media content creator, something like. But he's a YouTuber,
social media content creator and leader.
He had two fights. One was against another YouTuber, and the second one was counted as a professional fight. So he had two fights under his belt. Nate Robinson had an interview with TMZ, I believe, and was saying, you know, yeah, good fight, whatever, but he needs to fight somebody like me, and that would get him credibility, and how Nate Robinson was like, he would beat him up, this, that, and the third. So that was how that fight came to be, because Nate Robinson said, he's an athlete. He played football.
He was talking trash.
Yeah, pretty much talking trash. He played football, basketball. He's an athlete, and if he beat me, that would basically, validate his career, so to speak. So they set the fight up. That was the worst idea in your man's life, man. Like,
come on, Nate. You put all this mental energy out there that you was the
yeah.
Like, you put it out there, and then, like, you got flattened, man.
Yeah.
You got flattened.
And that's, playing basketball doesn't equate to boxing. Like, those are two different...
Yeah, but what I'm saying, though, your leg work, it has to be precise when it comes to basketball.
It does, but yes, you use your legs in a punch, but that's a whole different...
Yeah.
And then, because I had a personal trainer in the gym, man, and... he was making me do boxing drills and stuff like that. So when you gotta, you do the 1-2 and then you back up and do it all, it's a lot of coordination into it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've watched the fight, Nate Robinson is just rushing and charging. To a boxer who's been doing this, and like I said, he had 2 fights under his belt. So he had the time to, condition and, pretty much hone his craft. To a boxer, if you're rushing in like that, man, that knows what he's doing, you see the outcome.
But I will say this, that behind the back hit that Nate got, I think that's what finished him. That first hit.
But when you rush in, guess what? That's what you leave yourself open to.
That's true.
He put him to sleep. And it's funny, too, because after the fight, he was getting roasted by other NBA players. Like, the memes were ridiculous. You know what's crazy is before Nate Robinson, the talk was how Sticky Fingers got his butt whooped by that white boy on MTV in a boxing match.
Tell Sticky, give me the cash for an MP3. I beat your ass like that white boy on MTV.
The difference is Sticky Fingers didn't get knocked out. He lost. He got outboxed. This was a knockout.
Yeah.
So Sticky Fingers gets a pass now. Nate Robinson now, he sits on the throne of that. And it's sad how it's a big misconception, whereas if you're black, you're not supposed to lose to a white boy. Just because you black, you go against a white boy, trust me, you could get it.
You get it. Some of these white boys know how to throw hands.
Yeah, growing up, one of my best friends, PJ, that white boy throws down, throws down. That's, to this day, that's still my homie. But he throws down. So don't get it twisted. Don't think, just because you black and this person's white, it's an automatic win. No, we seen that, on Saturday night. So the next one is Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson.
First of all, I'm gonna say this right now. Mike Tyson cheated. He cheated.
Okay, so pretty much the reason why he's saying he's cheated is because the report is, Mike Tyson said it, that he didn't feel any of the punches that Roy Jones thrown at him because he smoked weed before the fight.
He was under the influence of marijuana and he was numb. He was numb. Boy was in there getting hit and not feeling any of it.
Now, to his defense, Roy Jones was never known as a puncher in his career. Mm-hmm. He just had speed to outwit you and, basically beat you with his quickness. But that fight, man, like, if Roy Jones was gonna, like, if they said Roy Jones was gonna be in another fight, I wouldn't care to see it. If they said Mike Tyson was gonna be in another fight, I would care to see that, because you seen Mike Tyson had the footwork and everything like that. And in that fight too, another thing is, Mike Tyson didn't really throw no headshots. It's like they went into the fight basically saying, alright, I'm gonna just chip up your body or whatever, and I'm not gonna hit your face. So all he was doing was working the body.
Yeah,
for the most part.
I feel as though Mike didn't want to send him into a coma.
Yeah, but you could see, like, through the fight that Mike had the, Mike looked like the younger boxer, and Roy Jones is older than him. Mm-hmm. But you could tell Mike still had the footwork and the head swivel and everything like that. And
I feel as though if Mike was hitting his face, he'd have been done.
Yeah,
he'd have been done in that first
That's
round.
what I'm saying. It seems like Mike still has more in the tank than Roy Jones do.
I feel as though Mike came together with him and they made an agreement like, yo, I'm not going to hit you in the face.
Because it was an exhibition. Because even before, like, leading up to the fight, Roy Jones was like, if he hit me in the face or go for the knockout, then, it's going to get real and, stuff like that. So if you having talks like that, then behind the scenes, I believe something was said.
Because Tyson, I've seen Mike Tyson punch solid brick before.
And Tyson go-to is his uppercut. And he had chances, but
he had mad openings for this uppercut throughout the whole fight.
But like I said, it seems like Tyson, he still got a couple of fights in him. Roy, stay retired. And that fight definitely wasn't a draw.
You know what I would like to see?
What?
If we bought Sylvester Stallone and Mike Tyson in the ring.
Sylvester Stallone would get toe up.
No, but if he was trained like how he was trained in Rocky, and we had the Sylvester Stallone from Rocky versus Mike Tyson. Who do you think is walking out of that?
Tyson.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Number one, the Sylvester Stallone in Rocky wasn't even a 200 pounds soaking wet. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I think Tyson would eat him up.
I don't know, man. I think the Italian Stallion would have stuck in there for a good couple rounds though. Probably till the end. I think it'd have been the decision making.
If you're talking in movies, yeah, they would have scripted that.
I'm talking in general.
But real life,
look, I'm talking in general, man.
Put Tyson in the ring with Ivan Drago. Ivan Drago would have been KO'd in 3 minutes tops.
I don't think so. Nah.
Tyson fought bigger dudes who were stronger. Than Ivan Drago.
That is true.
So yeah. All right, so we're going to segue into the NBA now. So we have the Lakers who signed Marc Gasol, but with them signing Marc Gasol, they lost Rajon Rondo. And on top of that, before I even go to that, they did let Dwight Howard walk.
Yeah, Dwight Howard walked.
With losing Rondo, Dwight Howard, and even McGee is gone because they got rid of McGee so that they can bring Marc Gasol in. Do you feel that the Lakers are in a better situation now?
No, they're in a worse situation.
Last year.
They're in a worse situation because you just lost 3 extra power pieces.
Yeah.
Now you got to think about this. Before how the Lakers rotation was set up, it was first couple of quarters, I had my main pieces out. Mm-hmm. Then when you get to like close to the end of the second, I'm switch them out, get the backup main pieces in, let my first main pieces rest. They play for a little bit, then switch them out and get my third pieces in. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's how their offense was set up. But now it's configured where they have to be main pieces out there, and then second pieces, and then the main pieces have to get back in at a certain point.
See, this is where I think it hurts them big time. Don't get me wrong, Marc Gasol is a great defensive player, but he's old now. He's a lot older.
Yeah, and their offensive power is now cut.
Yeah.
It's now cut.
This is where I say they're hurt. I say they're hurt big time because now the perimeter defense is going to suffer. Mm-hmm. Because the turning point in these playoffs was Rondo.
Yeah, Rondo made a lot of power plays.
They played the Nuggets. Rondo is what made the difference and turned that series. And even in the finals, Rondo is what basically got Lakers to win the title because of his defensive prowess on the perimeter, able to
and his leadership, and then his plays, his plays.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, LeBron is a great player and everything, but
you need the help.
He needs the help. Like, the way LeBron plays now is safe.
If you was talking maybe 10 years ago,
when he was more physical,
then it would have mattered.
Like he used to. Like, you could check this out. Like, he'll if you ever watch him go into the paint now, he's cautious about it. He hesitates. He pauses. If he feels like it's too many defenders, he passes it. Mm-hmm. The LeBron back from 10 years ago, man, he'd have ran through all 3 of them.
Yeah,
ran through all 3 of them, hit a dunk or
he was like a locomotive. Once he got moving, you couldn't stop him.
Yeah, and if you touched him, you got fouled. You just fouled him automatically.
Yeah,
just like in the game. Y'all know what I'm talking about, 2K.
So, in other words, you don't see Lakers coming out in the West. Do you give them a shot to win the title is the question.
I give them a shot, but we also got to keep an eye on Golden State. Golden State been picking up some pieces on the low. Some fresh blood.
All right, we're going to get to Golden State in the next segment. Because Warriors, they'll be without Klay Thompson. And they did draft the big man Wiseman, who's a double-double machine and a very good shot blocker. And they picked up Kent Bazemore, who's a very good defender. So, do you think those two pieces, well, number one, Wiseman is a rookie or whatever, so, and Kent Bazemore is a great defender or whatever, but do you feel that them adding those two pieces will fill the void of Klay Thompson?
Hell to the no. And I will tell you my reason. Klay Thompson, people may not realize it, but whenever the Warriors needed that shot, Klay Thompson was over there to deliver. So now, without that miracle shooter, your offense has to be based around these new people coming in and then what you have to work with. Now, in clutch situations, who do you turn to without Klay Thompson is gone? So who do you turn to make these miracle shots? Who can you trust when it's 10 seconds left on the clock and you got to hit a three?
This is what I'll say. Klay Thompson is a irreplaceable piece because he was your best defender and he could shoot on the level of Steph Curry. Now, I feel, well, number one, Wiseman is unknown. If he can produce like how he produced in college, then that's going to be beneficial because in college he was averaging 19 points. You could say almost 20 points a game, over about 10 rebounds a game, and 3 blocks a game.
NBA level is
That's what I'm saying.
You got bigger guys.
That's what I'm saying. If he can produce on that level, it's gonna help. It's gonna help big time. And then with Bazemore, Kent Bazemore, he's a decent player. He's not Klay Thompson level, but he's a decent player. Now, the reason why I'm saying it's up in the air is because you're getting 2 bodies to replace 1.
Yeah.
You know? And then you got Andrew Wiggins, who you can have at the small forward. So if you put Kent Bazemore at shooting guard, where Klay Thompson was, and then you have your big man Wiseman, and he does develop the way he should, that's a pretty decent starting 5 with Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Kent Bazemore, Draymond, and Wiseman. That's a pretty decent starting 5. Like I said, you can't replace the chemistry and the things that Klay Thompson do. But if you're going to tell me you're going to have these guys and Wiseman has potential, then I'm like, okay, I can work with that. Now, the question is, do I see them being on top of the West? I see them more of like a 8 to 6 seed.
I don't think so.
You think you see them higher?
I think I see them lower.
Oh, lower?
Because you got to think about it. The chemistry for their teamwork is going to be fresh. And, like, regardless if they put them on the starting squad, you know, the other guys there, they're older. You know, they've been in the league more. They're not going to want to, you know, take ideals from young cats. They're going to be like, yo, okay, this is what it is. This is how we run our offense. You get what I'm saying?
That, not to cut you off, but that's where Steve Kerr comes into play. You see what I'm saying? Now we're going to see how good your coaching is.
Yeah.
Was it Mark Jackson's situation that you reap the benefits from? Or is it really your coaching is that good? When you can get the young guys to integrate with the older
But
guys?
even if they do, you got to think about it as the teams only got a starting squad. If they play against a real team with deep benches, prime example, if they play against
Nuggets, you got Nuggets.
Yeah, you got Nuggets. Who's the other?
Clippers.
The Clippers. Who else? I'm trying to think of.
The Suns got deeper.
Yeah, Suns. The Suns. What? Fox?
Yeah, they got.
Yeah, their benches is deep.
That's Sacramento with Fox.
That is Sacramento with.
Yeah,
I'm
but
sorry.
they're deep too.
Yeah, they're deep as well.
Too.
Yeah, no.
With Suns, you're talking what's his name?
I'm talking about Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Booker. He nice.
Yeah. Oh,
he nice.
Devin Booker, man.
Let me tell y'all something. The only reason the Suns did not play in the last playoff was because they were voted out.
Yeah.
It was tied between 3 teams.
Yeah.
Only 2 teams could advance. They had a popular vote poll that was done, and the Suns are not. They're not saying they don't have fans, but they're not as well known as the other 2 teams that were in the poll. So they were voted out.
And you know what's crazy to me is how did they get voted out and the Grizzlies got put in?
Cause
you get what I'm saying?
Because the Grizzlies have been to a NBA playoff before.
They have been, but I'm just like, you know what? Too.
But my thing is, it was the people. Like, if everybody decided to give the Suns a shot, you know what I'm saying? I think the Suns would have definitely gave that whole playoff a run for their money.
Yeah. Because they was giving teams the business.
Yeah.
They was giving teams the business.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so I wanna. So who is your top 8 as far as the playoffs go?
You know what? That is a good question.
All right, because
I definitely want my Toronto Raptors in there because we make it every.
No, I mean on the West. Because for me, I got the Clippers. Number 2 for me, I'll put Lakers. Number 3, Nuggets. Number 4, I'm gonna give Portland the benefit of the doubt. Number 5, if Rockets keep James Harden and Westbrook, and then they also
the Rockets make
they
it.
also added Boogie Cousins.
The Rockets.
I'll give Rockets.
But
6, I'll give to the Suns.
Yeah.
7, I'll give to Warriors, and number 8, I'll give to the Kings. So that's my top 8 right there. Clippers 1, Lakers 2, Nuggets 3, Portland 4, Rockets 5, Suns 6, Warriors 7, Kings 8.
That's coming.
Who would you change out of that?
West
lineup for you?
You know, I'd put the Suns actually. I'd put the Suns after Portland. That's the only man I would change up.
So you would put Rockets at number 6.
Yeah.
Suns.
Yeah.
Okay. So that puts Warriors, between 7 and 8. So you had it. Okay. But yeah, like it's gonna be interesting to see how they go, whatever. Mm-hmm. But Clippers, man, with them adding Luke Kennard and who was the other person they added? They added Serge Ibaka. Serge Ibaka from your squad. Mm-hmm. That's a big loss too.
Yeah, that's a big loss. But we picked up Alex Lynn and we picked up some other pieces too.
Yeah.
For the coverage that we lost. So it's not a huge loss.
And people really underestimate Alex Lynn.
Yo,
he is good, man. He's a good player.
He's a good player.
Yeah, but even though Clippers did lose Montrezl Harrell, word is he was a cancer in the locker room. So that's why they got rid of him, because they was ready to re-sign him, and Kawhi gave the call like, no, get rid of that dude, because he was a cancer in the locker room or whatever. That's why you saw weeks ahead, your man with the chicken wings, Lou Williams, Sweet Lou, he unfollowed him and stuff like that. So you saw like certain things happening where the team was drifting away from Montrezl. Because there was, beef and not beef, but like there was things going on in the locker room that the team saw as cancerous, whatever, so wanted to get rid of him. So once the players put the word in, don't bring him back, they took away the contract that they was going to give him and let him walk or whatever. So that was that. So if he was a cancer to the locker room and they added, these 2 pieces, to me, I feel that might be better chemistry with the team. And Luke Kennard is a 3-point sniper. You're talking your man shoot 40% from 3-point.
Yeah.
So that's going to stretch the floor with Sweet Lou, who is a straight-up scorer and can shoot from anywhere. Clippers, I see, have potential. And Serge Ibaka is going to help that team, man, because it's going to give him some veteran leadership and toughness.
Yeah, Serge Ibaka.
And he can space the floor.
Yeah, he's a good inside man.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. What I'm waiting to see is where Giannis goes, because the Raptors made him an offer.
Well, we was just about to get into the Milwaukee Bucks too, because they did trade for Drew Holiday. Mm-hmm. They did sign DJ Augustin. Mm-hmm. So Drew Holiday to me is gonna be a big help, because to me he's better than Bledsoe.
Yeah.
Ever since Bledsoe's injury, he hasn't been the same player.
Nah.
So Drew Holiday is gonna be a better fit, I believe. But will that be enough to push them over the edge?
It would be enough support for Giannis if Giannis stays.
Okay.
It'd be enough support for Giannis.
But the question is, do you think he's gonna stay? Because
I don't know. Because we offered him a pretty high salary, so I don't know.
Well, he's still under contract for one more year.
Yeah.
So even if they can't, it would be if the Bucks did the trade or not, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I honestly think if they don't get over the hump with the roster they have now, like to Giannis, it's like, well, why am I still here? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
he's gonna go to a team where he knows, I think once everything is expired, like if they don't make it and win, he's gonna leave.
Go to either the Raptors or the Suns.
Yeah,
that would be two good spots that he could go to. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting because the Bucks are always on the one of the top teams on the East, if not the top team.
It's always between us and the Bucks. Yeah, between the Raptors and the Bucks.
Yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. But we're gonna see if that pushed him over the hump or not.
But we can't sleep on Tatum and that squad.
And I think them getting rid of Gordon Hayward is actually beneficial to them. I see it as a plus for some reason because, to me, Hayward was never 100% healthy since that injury. With the coach having, a soft spot for him because they played in college, he coached them in college and everything like that, it kind of, make you, want to integrate him and put him in there, even times, when it's detrimental to the team, but it's I'm going to put him out there so he could gain rhythm and stuff like that. So I think that's actually going to be a plus for them. That's what I believe. And now the team can solely be Tatum's team, and they kind of go from there. So that's gonna be interesting. Now, for all I know, Gordon Hayward might help the Hornets out big time. Mm-hmm. But since the Hornets lost Kemba Walker, and they had that, that 1 or 2 glory years when they made it to the playoffs, they haven't been the same or whatever. So we'll see what Gordon Hayward can do over there. But yeah, the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Raptors, and the team that, in my opinion, it all hinges on Kevin Durant is the Nets. If Kevin Durant come back healthy, I believe it's the Nets. The
Nets are going to be a problem.
Yeah,
because they have a good young squad. They just don't have a good leader.
And if Kevin Durant come back with Kyrie, I think they're gonna have it on lock on the East.
They're gonna be a threat in the East.
And the thing is, I understand everybody's well, let's see if it's gonna mesh between Kevin Durant and Kyrie, but at the end of the day, they're actually friends.
Well, we can't forget about Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
we can't forget about.
But they didn't really add anything to their team that it's gonna be the same team as last year.
Yeah, but they're gonna come back with better chemistry. You gotta think about it.
Yeah, but at what point, number one, they're going to be back to a full season. Mm-hmm. So now that's going to give you time to burn out.
Yeah, that's true.
Because remember, they had that break in between, and then by the playoffs where you play every other day, and you still had, during the finals, you still had, 2 days off in between, and they still were gassed. So imagine now you go into an 82-game season.
Listen. I feel what you're saying, but I think in Jimmy's mind and the rest of the squad for the Heat, I think they got it in their souls. I think they'd be like, you know what? This season we gonna win. I don't know.
Man, there's many times where I went jogging or was lifting weights or something, and I'm like, yo, I could do one more rep, and that one more rep is what screwed me. Yo, word is born. I remember it was me and my roommate, whatever, right? We had a weight bench in the living room. And I know he was I got off of work early. So we had a bench press in the living room. Weights on. So I threw all the weights on. So I'm like, bet. Lift it up, got it up, boom. Got it up 5 times. After I got up that 5th time, it was a struggle. I was like, you know what? I got one more on me. Brought that bad boy down. Mm-hmm. Would not come up for nothing. Pushed. You know how you be like, I bet I'm gonna give it one good push and
get it done.
Yo, I got it right up to where you hook it. It would not budge. Brought it back down. What saved me is I didn't lock the weights in with the thing.
Oh, okay.
I managed to. So
tip it off.
So you can have that mentality of, yo, I could push, but when you realize you can't push, it's too late.
I hear you.
You know, so
but you still gotta give credit to them. The Heat.
Yeah,
Heat
yeah.
won a lot of games.
They did. Like I'm gonna give it to them where they are gonna be like they're going to the playoffs. I'm not denying it. But like I said, I just don't see enough where I see like they're gonna improve to get over that hump, so to speak.
Well, we'll see.
It's kind of like how the Raptors before Kawhi came there, they kept their team together, and you know they would always get to that, but they didn't have that extra whatever to push them over the hump. As soon as Kawhi came, it injected that extra something to push them over the hump. They maintained the same.
I think that was a stupid decision of him leaving.
Who?
Yeah,
I think so too.
Because think about it, with the squad that you have, you literally won an NBA championship.
I think if he was on the Raptors last year, I think Raptors would have repeated against. I think they would have beat the Lakers.
Yeah, they would have.
That's just my opinion.
We'd have beat the Lakers.
That's just my opinion. I think they would have beat the Lakers. But
because matter of fact, we beat the Lakers in the regular season when we played them. So think about that. If we beat you in a regular season game, imagine the playoff game.
I mean, it's different in a regular season because you don't take time to prepare for that.
But they still had all their players play in the regular season game.
It is, but
we didn't have Kawhi. It was just the regular squad.
Think about it though. Look at well then again, Boston. I'm looking at Boston. Whatever. Boston played the Lakers and destroyed them. Whatever. It doesn't mean in the final they was gonna beat them.
I think.
Look at it like this. I'm gonna give it to you in this perspective. When the Knicks had Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire, right? Mm-hmm. And the Heat had LeBron and the big three. In the regular season, there was even a game where Melo didn't play and the Knicks destroyed him with J.R. Smith and everything. Mm-hmm. That year, I think Miami was scared to play the Knicks, whatever, but Knicks wind up losing to the Pacers in the playoffs. If Knicks would have went and played Miami, I don't think the Knicks would have beat them. Just because it was the regular season, I don't see the Knicks would have beat them.
I think the Knicks would have beat them. Because you got to think about it. You got to think of once you play a team in a regular season and you beat them, and they're a top contender team, and you know that you can beat them, that mentality is stuck in there.
So explain this to me. The year that the Giants beat the Patriots in the first Super Bowl, right? Uh-huh. The last game of the season, the Patriots came to the Giants and beat them.
Well, I'm explaining that to you. The Giants suck sometimes.
No, but the Giants was the team that crept into the wild card.
Yeah.
And then came out and beat an 18-0 team.
Yeah. But you know...
So, but by your logic, they should have had no chance because they lost to the Patriots.
Yeah, well, I see where you're coming from. But you gotta think about it this way: the Giants has always been a miracle team, and their mentality goes on and off.
See, I can't go by that. You would have had a better argument saying football is different from basketball because it's one game. You would have had a better argument saying that.
I'm gonna speak the truth. The Giants are a miracle team. That's what they've always been known as.
They have.
And their mentality for winning games goes on and off. That is a fact.
Yeah.
When their mentality is on, you got team coordination, you got scoring, you got good defense. You have a good game all around. When their mentality is off, they're getting ran over.
Yeah, that's true. But still, man, there's many of teams that, especially in basketball, in the regular season, they went I'm pretty sure in the regular season last year the Bucks beat Miami, and then they lost to them in the playoffs.
Yeah, but if you look at that game, that was a close game.
But they still lost.
It was a close game.
They still lost, no matter how you slice it.
Jimmy Butler was like, "Oh nah, it's the third quarter. We lost in the regular season. I ain't about to let them take us in the playoffs."
No matter how you slice it.
I'm telling you,
either get L's or dubs. What did they get?
It's the mentality they came in with, bro.
Who ate at Shannon Sharp's restaurant and got served a hot L? Was it the Bucks or was it the Heat? One of them got hot L's, and that's what it came down to.
It was the mentality, I'm telling you.
So the mentality got the hot L's.
Yeah, because look. You got to come in with the right mentality, and that's for any sport. Just prime example, if you look at Jordan when he had his baseball career, he came in with the mentality, oh, I'm Michael Jordan, I can do anything I want. What happened?
He didn't do good.
He didn't do good at all. Matter of fact, he sucked. Plain and simple, he sucked. And it was then that he realized that he came in with the wrong mentality, thinking he was everything, but he was not. You get what I'm saying? So it all depends on the mentality you come in with the sport. Like, and there's gonna be.
You just contradicted yourself.
How?
Because you said he came in there with the mentality that I'm Michael Jordan, I'm the best, whatever. And when he went in there, he did bad. But then you just said on the other hand that once Giants have the mentality that I'm gonna win, I'm the greatest, whatever. They win.
But they do win. But they do win.
But you're contradicting.
But my thing is, they do win. You can't dispute that. You can't dispute that.
Yeah, but you're telling me two different things here. You just basically contested your own argument.
Hold up. But the Giants is a different category by themselves. They can't be defined.
Alright.
They a miracle squad. You can't define them by them lines.
We'll let him get this one.
I'm telling you, man.
Alright, so moving on to the Nets. Like I said, man, with the Nets, if Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, they mesh together, and if Kevin Durant come back 100%, then I believe they're on the top of the.
Well, I know Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving have a good friendship,
yeah.
right? And I know that Kyrie's been to Kevin Durant's house a few times to check on him and stuff.
Because people say, like, well, look at LeBron and Kyrie. Kyrie and LeBron weren't friends.
Nah.
Kyrie had the mentality, this is my team, and when LeBron came there, it's like, yo, you're imposing. So take that argument away from it. Kyrie and KD are actually friends. But what I want to talk about is the speculation of James Harden wanting to be traded to the Nets. Do you think that's going to carry any weight, or do you think that he will wind up on the Nets eventually this year?
First of all, I wholeheartedly am going to say that's some BS, because we know that the Rockets are not ever going to give up James Harden. James Harden is the Rockets team.
Yeah.
He is the team.
He is.
He's carried that team game after game after game.
But here's my question though. Do you, once the season over, when his contract is up or whatever, do you let him walk and you get nothing, or do you try and get something for him?
Shoot, hey, James, I got $20 million. You good? We good?
But if he wants to leave, he's not going to take the $20 million. You get what I'm saying?
Listen.
Here, let me ask you this. If the Rockets, let's just say for the sake of argument, by the time the trade deadline come and the Rockets are doing bad, like their record is terrible, do they trade him then?
I don't think they would trade him. I think they would trade other pieces, though.
Try and appease him.
Yeah. I don't think they would trade James Harden or try to let him go, period, because he basically, since he came to the team, he literally has bailed them out in countless situations. And even a franchise owner holds James Harden to a certain extent of, respect and stuff. So it's like, for them to just trade away their star player, and I don't think he would want to go anyway, because literally he is the number one star player on that team.
He's demanding the trade to go there, though.
Well, I mean,
see, my thing is,
that's because he's thinking Kevin Durant's gonna come back and stuff, and then he wants to win a ring. So I mean that's why he's demanding it, but I don't think management is gonna do it.
See, what I think as management is, if you trade James Harden, whatever, and you don't get something like a value back, then that's gonna hurt your ticket sales and everything. The only way
I see them trading James Harden to the Nets is if the Nets give up some of their young good players.
I honestly think they would have to throw a Kyrie in the package, like hands down. That's what I honestly think, because at the end of the day, like, let's just say, for instance, the Knicks suck, right? Not for instance, they do suck. The Knicks suck, period. But let like Anthony Davis or Zion. Let Zion have come to New York, a marquee name. The fans are gonna come to that game, even though they suck. The fans are gonna come to that game just to see that marquee player.
That's true.
So even if the Rockets suck, they're still gonna come to see James Harden play. So if that's your money maker, and gonna make your ticket sales, you're gonna do it. Look at Cleveland. Look at when LeBron left, how their tickets became dirt cheap. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I think that's something that would make management be like, well, we just gonna ride this year out with him, whatever, and if he walks, he walks. Let's get what we can or whatever. But I don't know, man. Like, I've just seen so many times when a player wants to leave a team, eventually it happens.
I mean, honestly, I don't think they're gonna trade him. But when his contract is over,
it's a possibility.
He's gonna probably try to walk.
Probably. So, in other words, you don't see the Nets getting Harden this year.
No, I don't see it. If they do get Harden, they have to lose some good pieces for the trade. It has to be an equal equivalent.
Like I said, if they trade Harden, I honestly think Kyrie.
But I don't think they would want that because, you know, if they trade Kyrie and they put a Harden, James Harden has his own ball hogging personality. Put it that way.
Let me ask you this: would you think they would be okay with trading Kyrie and a lot of their young pieces to make the salaries match to bring back the reunion of Westbrook, Harden, and KD on the Nets? That would be that would be kind of hot if you ask me. Like, that would be.
Yeah, but I don't.
But I'm just, dude. Like, could you see something like that?
But we've seen it before, and we've seen where that's led to, though.
But they were young.
They were young, but James Harden still has the ball hog mentality.
Yeah, but think about it.
And you can't have, put it this way, you can't have KD, who likes to get the ball and, you know, drive and whatever and shoot, and then have James Harden, who's like, I need to be the center of attention, likes to grab the ball all the time and shoot and stuff like that. You can't have two powerhouse pieces.
Why not? He shared the ball. Like, KD was willing to share the ball in Golden State and take less shots.
Right.
Because this is where I see well it'll work.
But will James Harden do the same? That is my question.
Here's the thing. The reason why I see it as being able to work is because of the simple fact Harden likes to drive to the paint, whatever. So if Harden is driving to the paint and he's demanding double teams and stuff like that, you have KD open in the wing, whatever, and if the defense collapsed to Harden and even he dished it to Westbrook got a clear path to the basket also. So he has that nice dishing and swishing type game between the two where one is a marksman and the other one will slash to the basket. Because Harden makes a lot of his assists where he's diving to the basket and kick it to the open man. And he did make it work with Westbrook in Houston, but now imagine the way he made it work with Westbrook in Houston, that he has KD out in the field to dish it out to, as a marksman that he is.
It wouldn't happen though.
I mean, I don't see the trade happening, but with the three, because that's the same
when
thing.
His contract is up, I can see them approaching him, but other than that,
because look at it, that's the same thing we thought. We was like, how is LeBron, Wade, and Bosh gonna work? They made it work. You see what I'm saying? So it's a possibility. But yeah, I know these Nets fans, especially my boy Kirby, I know you would probably want something like that to happen, but
not this year.
Yeah. Wishful thinking, you know. But that's gonna do it on today's episode. I hope you liked the episode. And we're gonna try and make this a weekly segment where we speak about sports and what happened, you know, through the weekend and the previous week and everything like that. So drop a comment, tell us what you think. Hey, tell us you disagree or agree with some of our picks and who we think is coming out of the NFC or AFC or whatever. But if you like what you see, subscribe, hit that like button, share it, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Oh, remember one more thing, the Packers ain't going nowhere.
Peace.
Deuces.
Time for me to hold it down. Time for me to break it down. Y'all cats don't wanna see me. Y'all better mind your P's and Q's.